Look at this flag! This symbol represents the unity of over 170 nations, a power that spans the four seas and the Grand Line. This is the world itself!
Created 800 years ago and comprising over 170 countries scattered throughout the world, unified under the banner of an absolute symbol of justice, the world government was created from a shared solidarity and a common ideal, which was to spread global peace, to administer the law, and to maintain order. Thus, by paying a tax known as the heavenly tribute, the nations affiliated with the world government obtained protection from pirates and mercenaries through the provision of military aid by the Navy and the Cipher Paul. Even so, for a nation to be fully recognized as a world government affiliate, the leader of the nation must go to Marijoas, the political center of the world, and meet the 5 elders at the Pangaea Castle, and of course, make a vow before the empty throne. An empty throne constructed over 800 years ago by the 20 founding families of the government. A symbol of peace and a testament to the fact that no one can rule over the world alone. The world government will thus appear as a benevolent institution that advocates for world peace, all the while promoting law and order. Even though the world government does appear benevolent, there exists a well-defined pecking order. The 5 elders are the highest-ranking officials of the world government and have the highest authority in the institution. Beneath the 5 elders are the celestial dragons, members of the 20 founding families. Beneath the celestial dragons are the world nobles, who are the rulers of the 170 nations affiliated with the world government and their representatives. However, this hierarchy has been exploited by the celestial dragons, as well as the 5 elders, leading to widespread racism, slavery, corruption, and poverty. The imposing tax, which is the heavenly tribute, cannot be afforded by many nations. Thus, these nations are constantly attacked and pillaged by pirates and mercenaries. Even amidst the nations that are affiliated with the world government, systemic racism, discrimination, and slavery have led to widespread discontent, leading to many revolutions across the world, facilitated by the revolutionaries. This is not new. However, this institution does have a hidden face known only by a select few. A face that threatens the existence of the world government if revealed. It is this face of the world government that is on the verge of being exposed by the world's greatest scientist, Dr. Vegapunk. So if you guys want Vegapunk to leak all the dirty secrets of the celestial dragons and the world government, let us know by subscribing massively to the channel and sharing the video on your various social media platforms. Let us begin. This chapter was quite amazing as the stakes went up once more. Having this recording as a fail-safe by Vegapunk was an amazing trick. This recording caused the 5 elders to be extremely worried, especially since they did not know the extent of Vegapunk's research on the Void Century, so the 10 minutes allocated by Vegapunk so that the citizens of the world prepare for the video broadcast felt like hell to the 5 elders. Turns out Vegapunk hacked the Navy's command traffic, thus enabling a simultaneous broadcast of the recording by anyone who owned a transponder snail. The reason for this was simple. If the message wasn't broadcast simultaneously all over the world, there was always the risk that the message could be tempered. To ensure that everyone got the message at the same time, Vegapunk initially gave the citizens of the world an hour to prepare for the video transmission, but the time was reduced to 10 minutes. This was to ensure that the transmission was not cut off by those who stood to lose big from the leaks. I liked the fact that all transponder snails were hacked. This means that even the average Navy soldier is going to hear what Vegapunk has to say. This is because too much information is concealed from the Navy soldiers. These leaks therefore have the potential to severely damage the morale of the Navy soldiers, as they might begin to doubt the integrity of the Navy. This was one of the complaints that Akinu had when he met the 5 elders, as they had previously gone out of their way to help Doffy. Thanks to the recording, we got an update from many characters across the world. It was great to see Leopold, Kairos, and Rebecca. This greatly debunked the theory that the Straw Hat Grand Fleet was on the move to Egghead Islands. Fuchsia Village wasn't exempt from the broadcast, but they could only get the audio, as Wu Slap claimed that the video transponder snails cost a fortune to maintain. I never thought transponder snails cost that much, but I guess he was more concerned about the maintenance costs. In Water 7, we finally got the name of Iceberg's Secretary Alice. It's always a pleasure when Oda goes full circle to show us characters that we have not seen in a while. I have heard a lot of rumors in the community concerning Alice, with many speculating that she could be an undercover Cypher Paul agent. I do not believe that is the case. Could the island in South Blue be the Sorbet Kingdom? We even got to see islands from the West and North Blue. The most important detail of this part of the chapter was Oda showing us that the revolutionaries were already prepared to watch the video recording. This part is important because those who stand to gain the most from the leaks will be none other than the revolutionaries, especially if information on the Void Century is revealed. After all, this will cause the citizens of the world to question the integrity of the world government and thus fan the flames of revolution. Oda even went out of his way to show that many did not believe the lies spread about Luffy. I think we all know that this video had been pre-recorded, but the citizens of the world were not aware of this. Morgans was the first to notice that it was a pre-recorded video, as the time in the video did not match the current time. I can only imagine the scoop that Morgans will cook up after the Straw Hats escape from Egghead Island. We now know the reason why Dory and Bragi have not yet made it to meet Luffy. Turns out that they have their hands full, as they are constantly being attacked by Navy soldiers. I don't think they are far from Sanji, so I believe that they will encounter Sanji soon enough. I was going to assume that Stella is dead, but I still have my hands crossed, as Oda is such a troll. Now, I must say I was shocked by Luffy in this chapter, because had it been another character, the Dawn Symbol attack would have knocked him out cold. But Saturn is a beast amongst beasts. Not only did he return, but he also proceeded to call back up. I do not know whether the technique used to summon the 5 elders is Saturn's technique, but this chapter heavily implied that it is. Communicating using telepathy was also another skill that was revealed to us in this chapter. Thanks to this skill, the other 4 elders were able to deduce that Stella had pre-recorded the video and that the signal was probably coming from the Labo phase. In that light, I believe that their main priority will be to destroy the Labo phase. This could turn out to be problematic for them, as York is still in the Labo phase. So destroying the Labo phase could also end up killing the only character who could help them get more Mother Flames. Destroying the Labo phase will also mean that Punk Records will be destroyed, and with it, all of Dr. Vega Punk's knowledge. Rather than having Luffy fight one of the 5 elders, Oda had the brilliant idea of having Luffy fight all 5 elders at once. This would be an impossible feat for Luffy to single-handedly achieve, given that Saturn seems to have infinite regeneration. And if the others also have this ability as well, it would be impossible for Luffy to fight all of them at once without taking damage. That said, I believe that some of the 5 elders will prioritize destroying Punk Records rather than fighting Luffy, simply because time is not on their side. The more time that they waste on Luffy, the more likely it is that their secret might be exposed. With the stakes going up, I won't be surprised to see Sanji return, especially since he too noticed the arrival of the 4 other elders. With 5 individuals this powerful fighting Luffy, it will almost be impossible for him to escape, unless the ancient robot makes its way to the area and begins to attack the 5 elders too. This robot could provide a window of opportunity for Luffy to escape. Dory and Bragi could also play an important role in the escape. They may use a Spear of Elbaf to push back the 5 elders, thus enabling the Straw Hats to escape. One last thing about the summoning circles. I am beginning to think that Emu could as well be summoned by the 5 elders. But to do so, all the 5 elders will need to be present. If this turns out to be true, it would imply that the summoning skill is shared by all 5 elders. The arrival of the other 4 elders greatly implies that the Seraphim will most likely be retrieved. I was rooting for the Seraphim to join the revolutionaries, but I guess that won't be happening. Presuming that the Straw Hats escape, it would mean that the fusion reactor would still be under the control of the 5 elders, and thus the potential for more Mother Flames to be produced. I think the arrival of the 4 other elders also implies that the Marks III pacifistas will most likely all be destroyed. Saturn's Devil Fruit powers have already been revealed, and has us hyped up on the potential powers of the other 4 elders. We will just have to wait and see what Oda has in store for us. In the last chapter analysis, I previously said that I felt that Kizaru was the character that could pose a very big threat to the escape of the Straw Hats. That feeling has not changed. But Oda did do something interesting in this chapter. After Kizaru crashes on a battleship, I found it interesting that he had his hand covered over his glasses. Could Kizaru be crying because he killed his friend? This would of course be significant character development for Kizaru. Well, that is it from me, guys. Let me know your thoughts about the chapter in the comments section. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It was a pleasure, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.